To start off 2022, I read 5 books about happiness, as well as 2 bonus books that I'll reveal in the next video. On screen is a mind map of the takeaways, which I'll be walking through the details of in the next couple of videos. The very first thing to note is that the advice, follow your passion, is actually, like, empirically speaking, bad advice, and here's why. Port, the author of this book, is an MIT professor, and he calls this the passion hypothesis, the idea that you can only be happy if you are doing work that you love. Passion hypothesis as a hypothesis has grown. This is a Google Enneagrams graph of that phrase being used over time. It exploded in popularity as a result of a couple of books that were published that are analyzed here. One of the first problems with this piece of advice is that it gives people unrealistic expectations. Sometimes lawyers spend years and hundreds of thousands of dollars in law school, and then they arrive and quit immediately because they were told that if they did what they were passionate about, that they would be happy. But that's not actually how it works. Your work is only one component of your happiness, and if you treat it as the thing, it's probably going to lead to problems. We'll break down this book specifically in the next video, one of the next videos. The other problem with the passion hypothesis is that it makes people feel that if they aren't able to find work that they're passionate about, that they're somehow lacking or less than. That's not true. I mean, first off, there's an element of classism to that. Being able to do what you're passionate about is often requires taking financial risks that not everyone has access to. This to say nothing of the gatekeeping in many industries. I actually haven't finished reading this one yet, but Sarah Kendzior is a St. Louis-based author who mentions that if you want to be a journalist, you have to live in New York City. And if you want to live in New York City, you have to have a bunch of money to be able to move there a lot of the time. And often, for many careers, it involves unpaid internships in the most expensive cities in the United States. So access to these passion careers is very often restricted. Having a sense of purpose, which for some people can be a spiritual thing and for others can be a purpose in another domain, is more important, but it actually misses one of the key things. One of the things that makes you happy is being good at what you do. If you study the data, some of the happiest people are accountants or jobs that are not dream jobs. And it's not their happiness level increases in the first year or two. It's after they're at it for a while that they become good at it, that they have a sense of competence and mastery over it. And this is the big kicker, and one of the reasons I'm making this video in this series. When you become competent at something, you actually start to become passionate about it. Repetition, competence, and skill actually cause passion and not the other way around. More findings coming soon.